Brought to you by Pfizer.
In this video, you're going to see the future.
Hello there, you Awakening Wonders. Thanks for joining me on Stay Free with Russell Brand today. A special welcome to those of you joining us from Timcast. Thanks for the raid. Hope you're enjoying Rumble's new lineup. Crowder, Timcast, me, then we'll be raiding. I'm going to say raiding, even though I'm not fully comfortable with the term because it sounds a bit piratical. Over to the quartering. Let me know in the comments and chat what you want us to cover. Do you want to see Hillary Clinton talking about censorship at an event that literally has New World Order adorning the boards in the background? Do you want to see my government in the UK threatening Russia with a nuclear war? Britain threatening Russia is like me threatening Conor McGregor. I'll nibble your ball bag, Conor. I'll nibble it till you wince. I'll make you submit. We'll be talking about potential civil war as protesters or campaigners or rioters or insurrectionists. I don't know what to call people anymore. It depends what side they're on and what side I'm on. Call for the death of Donald Trump. Let me know in the comments and chat whether or not you think we're on the precipice of civil war. I'm talking to you, the unholy deity, and you, Robert Rumble 52, and you, BB Drifter, all of you in the Rumble chat. You might be watching us on YouTube. Remember, you are ensnared in the cyber arms of a global grim reaper over there. Get on over to Rumble. Paul Schrober, nibble your ball bag. Who are you now? The Killer Bunny. It was a kind of Monty Python reference. So, yes. Hello, Jose Drivera. First time watching us. Welcome. Get involved in the chat. We're here for free speech. We're here to hear your opinions on a variety of subjects and to be informed entirely by your views and inquiries as to what to cover. One thing we're certainly going to get right into without any further delay is this. Did you see Colorado State Democrat Amy Pascal playing a colouring in game during a debate on gun control? Did you see Jasmine Crockett calling paralysed wheelchair-bound Governor Greg Abbott Hot Wheels? Yeah, Hot Wheels? Yeah, but when I called him Hot Wheels, I wasn't talking about his wheelchair. I was talking about the way he'd use transport to move things around. Like, when I called... Bernie Sanders is a bald cock. But when I called him a bald cock, I meant like, he's got the spirit of the bald eagle, the national bird of America. When I said cock, I mean like a proud cockerel. Oh, what you thought I meant like because he's bald and he's a bit of a cock. What's he doing? Do you stand by this onesie? Do you denounce this onesie? We'll be talking too about Jay Bhattacharya and Marty Makary, both friends of this show, now 4 years after they were pariahs during COVID, ascending to the heads of important positions within the HHS. Jay Bhattacharya is now the head of the NIH, and Marty Makary is now head of the FDA. It's 5 years since Hollywood celebrities got together to tell you that everything was going to be okay during the pandemic. Imagine all the people. Yeah. Oh yeah, now you can say I'm a dreamer. Yeah, I'm not the only one though. We'll work it out. We'll use this correctly. We'll rehearse it. But I'm going to, we'll work that out. Imagine being so wealthy you think that you can tell ordinary people how to think. I remember at the time, I think I got asked to do it. Or either I got asked to do it. Gareth, can you remember? Either I got asked to do it or I was upset that I didn't get asked. Wow, what a relief, man. Some of the invites I didn't get, I'm grateful for. Don't ask me to be in that Imagine song. Don't invite me to Epstein Island. I might not have had common sense enough to say no. But a lot of people did go to that island, and we'll be talking about the people that accepted the invitation. And some of them have got the surname Clinton. All that coming up. Let me know what you want us to cover. First of all, let's have a look at Jasmine Crockett calling Greg Abbott Hot Wheels and then claiming that she meant it in the nicest possible way.
Because we in these hot-ass Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot ass mess, honey. So yes.
Right, I would say that probably is a reference to the wheelchair. Let me know in the comments and chat. Is Democrat Representative Jasmine Crockett there using the phrase Hot Wheels as a reference to Greg Abbott's wheelchair? And also, by the way, maybe we can engage in rhetoric where we make jokes about one another's physical appearance, but that's certainly not the framing the Democrats were giving us in the last 4 to 8 years, where there was a lot of censorship, a lot of control, a lot of amplifying the rights of vulnerable people in order to escalate control. That's what I think. Simple words from Armageddon on the Rumble chat. She's a twat. You did take invites from Diddy, Russell, says Central Scrutinizer. I went to one white party, and I'll tell you the truth, it was actually a little bit boring. Certainly, I didn't get a whiff of baby oil while I was there. If I did, maybe Diddy might have sort of slipped past in Crocs and socks. Little whiff. What's that smell? What kind of... Yo, Puffy, what brand of baby oil are you using over there, man? That smells tight. Okay, let's hear Jasmine Crockett attempting to walk back that comment. That is what she's done. Oh, yeah, there's her post on it. I wasn't thinking about the governor's condition. I didn't even notice. Is he in a wheelchair? Is he in a wheelchair? I was thinking about the planes, trains and automobiles, all of which that have Hot Wheels, that he used to transfer migrants into communities led by black mayors, deliberately stoking tension and fear among the most vulnerable. Yeah. When I called AOC a saucy hooker, I mean, she used to be like a barmaid, didn't she? Selling sauce. And hooker, she hooks in new voters into the Democrat Party. What? You thought when I said saucy hooker, oh, man. You're sick of mind. You're sick of mind to even think that I'd be saying that. Let's have a look at Colorado State Democrat Amy Pascal doing a colouring in game during a debate in a gun control bill, which would lead me to believe that they don't care about things in the way that they claim to. Because if you really cared about gun control, like, you wouldn't be like, it's just going to add a little bit of peach there. I'm going to draw this Carmen Miranda with fruit on her hair. Just colour that banana in yellow. That cherry, nice shade of red. There's no point getting worked up when you're colouring in. It's just to relax during a congressional debate. Let me know if you think she's telling the truth. Let's have a look.
Procedures necessary for the implementation of this section. Let's see, that section goes 4 through 3. Let's see, go back to 1. Let's see, we need to get back to 1. So section 3, firearms training, safety, record. 2. Sure, I guess that goes all the way back to section 3. So section 3, so this would be...
She's an innocent child of God, really. That's pretty amazing. Okay, it was 5 years ago during the pandemic that celebrities like Wonder Woman and other celebrities, I can't remember all of them, got together to tell us to imagine everyone being in peace. When in truth what was happening, I believe, and let me know what you think about this in the comments and chat, is that global powers were practicing the degree to which we could be controlled. What happens if you tell people to get in their home? Will they do it? The large majority of people will. Let me know in the comments and chat if you did. What happens if you tell people to take an experimental medication, calling it a vaccine? Will the majority of people do it? The majority of people did. Let me know if you did it. Do you know what? I didn't ever take one. I never took one. Thank you, Heavenly Father and Lord, for informing me through my childhood and through my life that you never, ever trust authority. You only trust the holy and divine authority, and trust based on facts and relationship. That's not really trust at all. It's somewhat transactional. I've probably got to work on that. I don't trust people, man. I find it very, very hard to trust people. So, did you imagine 5 years ago that in a relatively short period of time, certainly in terms of the epochs of politics, you would have Jay Bhattacharya being moved from pariah to the head of the NIH. We'll be covering that story later. Marty Makary, who's also been on this show, head of the FDA. These are the people that said things like, whoa, you might want to be careful vaccinating during a pandemic. Where's the clinical data that suggests it's wise to vaccinate children? Have you even tested it against transmission? Oh, imagine all the people sharing all the love.
Imagine there's no heaven.
Ah, she's quite sweet. I've done a film with her. She's a nice person. Yeah, do not comply. I like it. Do not comply, says Winter Chilsco. Do not comply.
It's easy if you try.
Oh, why did people do it? Why did people? It's making me feel unusual. Is it giving you a little shudder?
Try.
No hell below us.
Love the famous people. I don't know who they are.
No hell below us.
Above us only sky. Imagine all the people.
I've done films with him. He's all right, James Marsden. She's all right, Gal Gadot.
All the people.
Living for today.
She's all right, Sarah Silverman. Like, I know you hate anyone who's liberal, and I'm just going to stop there when analysing the reasons you might hate Sarah Silverman. But that was not a good idea to do that Imagine thing.
Imagine there's no.
Oh, that makes me... No, that's not good. That's not good. People shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't have done... That's actually worse, I think, than the many people that died of adverse injuries. Like, hey, my son's got myocarditis. He's only 25 years old and he was a brilliant, promising young footballer. He's just had a heart attack. Yeah, but fucking hell, have you seen, like, Sarah Silverman trying to hit a top C? Yeah, all right. Everything's perspective. Everything's context. Everything is context. I love Sarah Silverman. She was pretty kind to me when I was locked into that crazy world. Hey, let me know in the comments and chat, what story do you think is most important? Hillary Clinton in Europe talking about censorship, the Civil War coming to your country, at least that's what some people are claiming. My country, the UK, saying they're going to nuke Russia, the lunatics. Do you want to see us analyse J.D. Vance's speech on globalisation? Oh, and guess what? Having said that Bitcoin is evil and crypto is evil, guess what we're looking forward to now? The digital euro. Seems that electronic currencies and cryptocurrencies are okay when they're centrally controlled by global bureaucracies that are unelected. Your country, so you own it now. No, Paul, like I would say your country to a French person or your country to you, an American. I don't think that I own America. I don't think I own anything except this moment that we participate in now. Let me know in the comments and chat what you want to see us comment on after that. It's a trap. You better believe it's a chat, Liberty Gardener. Yep, it's a crazy world. Yep, it's a crazy world. Diets are racist now. Yep, diets are racist. UK fucking sucks. Oi! Leave my country alone. Leave my country alone, you lot. All right, let's have a quick look at what's been going on. I mean, I can't believe we're covering this, but I think you're going to find it amusing in a way. It was Paris Week, Fashion Paris Week. No, not. It was Fashion Week in Paris. Here are some of the highlights. This is going to be one of those things that's going to antagonize you and make you angry. If you're watching us on YouTube or X, remember, ultimately, we need you to find your way to Rumble. Enjoy Rumble's new lineup. Me, Crowder, Tim Pool, The Quartering. So many sensational pundits and commentators over on Rumble. And if you get Rumble Premium, you don't just get the first hour. We hang around for another half hour. I'll be taking your questions. We'll be chatting, reviewing a lot of news. Coming up, we're going to be doing the Civil War. I'm going to be doing that in a minute. Is America on the precipice of civil war, with AOC and Bernie supporters saying that Trump should be killed? Before we get into that, fashion, turn to the left. Fashion.
Windows and show in Paris.
May I say you look extremely beautiful this evening. I looked across the room and I saw you shuffling in your silvery makeup, and I thought, there is the woman. Are you a woman that I want to... Oh, yes, your tits are out. There's the woman that I'd like to one day marry. Will you make me the happiest man in the world and accept this invitation to be my bride? Sorry, you're a bloke. Sorry, I didn't realise. Like, that is actually like a literal depiction of the end of the world, isn't it? Like, when you sort of see this topic, like, say a film like Luc Besson's Fifth Element, or, like, I don't know, Blade Runner, where they do futuristic depictions of a society that's so yielded to technology and materialism that it's become utterly godless, believing that only hedonism and Epicureanism can provide us with any respite from the tragedy of knowing that one day you'll die. That's the kind of shit people wear in that, isn't it? moronic. It's moronic, isn't it? I know, like, yeah, Hunger Games. Yeah, it is a bit Hunger Games. Like, I know, like, if you've seen that film Devil Wears Prada, Meryl Streep, who might be the best actor there's ever been, do you reckon she's an amazing actress, isn't she? Like, when Meryl Streep goes to Anne Hathaway, because I know you guys are crazy about the Devil Wears Prada, all you lot down there, you keyboard warriors and that, all MAGA and hard up and craving the Frazzle Drip stories and the Pizzagate stuff and knowing that the world's been captured, knowing that a global elite is dominating you, knowing, like J.D. Vance, we're going to be covering that story a little bit later, said that globalism has failed, that globalism is a masquerade, and we need to return to some form of populism, some form of nationalism, some form of tribalism, hopefully informed by divine principles and love and compassion and kindness. But globalism was always a coup, was always a racket, and you know and I know that COVID was an attempt to usurp all of the barriers and bulwarks against totalitarianism on a global level. Thank the Lord, enough of us woke up during that period to oppose it. Thank the Lord, enough of us did. Thank the Lord. We're going to be covering that story and so many more later. But Paris Fashion Week, anyway, in the Devil Wears Prada, she goes, Meryl Streep, like, you know, when you think that fashion is all sort of ridiculous and it's nothing to do with you, she goes, look at that crap thing you're wearing now, that crap blue jumper. That colour blue was first debuted at like Milan Fashion Week 5 years ago, and then people like made derivative fabrics and used derivative colours, and then eventually it found its way down to some drab little high street store where you probably bought that. So all of us might think we're outside of the culture. That's elite esoteric culture, that, isn't it? Fashion Week. It's very sort of highfalutin, absolute nonsense. You know, that's Nero fiddling while Rome burns territory, totally. But we are all affected by it. We're not free from it. I mean, when was the last time you, for example, ate a McDonald's or ate a Doritos? Kamala, I ate Doritos all the time. Me and my husband eat Doritos. He looks like a third world dictator. I know I don't. There's flowers on the back of that. Check that out. You won't get that on the back of a dictator, would you? What did my wife say? I look like a Nazi florist. My wife said I look like a Nazi florist, but she should know it's her bloody jumper. And what do you think about the pants? What do you think about the rippling abs, baby? Hey, what about that Florida? Florida. Oh, no. Hey, can you come back on? Because I turned off locals, and I love locals. I see my friends over there like Pride Folks. Yo, Isaac, will you please get out of that synagogue and come and turn... Isaac's Jewish, which I never fail to mention. Get over here, please, and turn on locals. I shut down the chat. Che Guevara, but a little gay. Che Guevara was pretty anti-homosexual. If you knew anything about the executions that took place after that revolution... Right, go on, get us back on, baby. Do you need this thing? Didn't he? Che Guevara, you're Cuban as well. Cuban and Jewish. Your wife's Cuban. Pick a side, mate. Pick a side. Well, yeah, you can't be everything. All right, let's get back to Fashion Week. Okay, let's get into our first story, the Civil War story. If you're watching us on YouTube, we'll be with you for a couple more minutes. Oh, Tucker's dad died. I didn't know that. Sensitive hearts. I didn't know that. Yeah, I will say a little prayer. I'll say a little prayer for his father. I'll reach out to him. Thanks for telling me. Well, that is sad. That is sad. But this is the nature of this is as Hyman Roth says in Godfather 2. This is the life we have chosen. Okay, let's get into this Civil War. Chuck Schumer seems to suggest Democrats are sending activists into Republican districts to protest and threaten them. Do you think that's plausible? And what's the difference between the J6 protesters and these bloodthirsty protesters? Let's get into it together. Here's Chuck Schumer saying that Democrats are sending activists into Republican districts. Let's have a look.
We are mobilizing in New York. We have people going to the Republican districts and going after these Republicans who are voting for this and forcing them to either change their vote or face the consequences. This is a long, relentless fight that we fight every day. And I am confident that we will bring Trump's popularity, numbers, and strength down if we keep at it and keep at it and keep at it.
Okay, so here are further open calls for violence against Trump at both AOC and Bernie. It's apparently a joint rally by Bernie Sanders and AOC in Denver. Open calls for violence. Let me know in the comments and chat what you think about that. Did you see Bill Burr's recent appearance on The View where he said we need to start tempering and calming down our political discourse, that we need to start looking for alliances, that we need to begin to, I mean, if you're going to have a United States of America, then you have to reach out in the spirit of fraternity and national pride and love to people that have different views from you. I mean, your country from its very origin, after the rejection of British imperialism and over-taxation, was built on the idea that discourse and democracy and conversation and consent were the founding principles of your nation. So let me know in the comments and chat what you think about that now. Do you think that there's a sort of a hypocrisy going on? Do you think that when Republicans or people on the right are critical of left-wing figures, it's amplified, and when the left do it, it is denied and masked? I guess that's why we're talking about Jasmine Crockett there. I don't think it's that bad to make a joke about someone's wheelchair. Most of the people that I've ever met in wheelchairs, I don't want to generalise, but are pretty spirited people because they've had to overcome something that's extremely difficult. If you've like lost one of your senses or lost the use of your limbs, then you have to go into yourself, I suppose, because thank the Lord I've never been through that. You have to find resources within yourself that help you to overcome a lot of obstacles, and probably you're a little bit hardier than to be hurt by someone saying something. I mean, I don't know, Isaac, Jake, have you guys, has he responded, Governor Greg Abbott? I bet he has, and I bet he says something like, you know, having gone through the life I've gone through, it takes more than someone cussing me out, blah, blah, blah. Don't you think? Is there anything like that? Has he responded? This is a good time to try out your camera and your thing. Let's have a look at you. Let's have a look. Come on then. Blade, now, how much of a cue do you guys need? Right, so you've tidied up that audio. You've obviously never tested that feedback.
Yeah, we have.
And have a look for Greg as well. All right, right, turn that off because it's echoing terribly. Come back to me. Right, so I'm gonna continue the thing, but watch that audio. That's something that obviously needs to be tidied up. Right, let's have a look at this Denver rally. Here's Bernie and it's a Bernie Sanders. Bernie, I call him a bald cock, but by that I mean bald like a bald eagle, and by cock I mean like a proud, noble bird fighting for what's right. Do you denounce this one thing?
Beheaded Donald Trump, are you calling for his death?
I am, yes. I believe it's time that the people...
It's like Fashion Week, isn't it? She looks like she could be at Paris Fashion Week.
That the people straight cut his fucking head off.
Mine says, if you want to know how fascism ends, ask Benito Mussolini.
And they hung him, right?
Yep, they hung him by his feet from a lamppost. That's exactly what every fascist deserves. The only good fascist is a dead fascist.
Now, are you calling for that to happen to our president right now?
I believe that the minute that Donald Trump decided to start ignoring judicial orders, he gave up the right to be the rightful president of the United States. He's an enemy of the nation, and yes, I'd like to see him hung by his feet by a lamppost.
But you wouldn't necessarily call for violence, would you? Are you supporting violence?
I think there's the people in power, that's all they're going to listen to at this point. I feel like we've done the rallies, we've done all these things, and they don't listen, and that was something that finally got people to listen. So I personally don't. But if that's what we need to do for people to listen, then that's what we need to do.
I would say that's just sort of empty rhetoric, wouldn't you? Let me know in the chat. I mean, these aren't people that are actually going to be able to enact executions of public figures. I mean, look at that fella in the high-vis vest or the person wearing the numerous hockey masks and stuff. I would take threats a little more seriously from people that look like they're able to deliver on them. And I would say that this is just an example of the escalating incendiary rhetoric that we probably need to move away from. It's low-frequency stuff. People that are in positions of absolute power benefit when the majority are squabbling about tedious matters and tedious issues. Let's have a look at Steve Bannon, who recently claimed that there is a plausible potential for Trump to run again in 28, which is going to be like catnip to those people that want to Mussolini Trump up from a lamppost. Let's have a look.
Firm believer that President Trump will run and win again in 2028. So I've already endorsed President Trump. A man like this comes along once every century if we're lucky.
Look at Bannon's eyes. He's mucking around, isn't he? He's being provocative, mischievous, and Machiavellian, excuse me. Like, your country's got some pretty clear constitutional restrictions on anyone running for the presidency more than twice, or being elected, more than twice.
Century if we're lucky. We've got him now. He's on fire, and I'm a huge supporter. Want to see him again in 2028.
And obviously, anybody who doesn't like what you say but judges it as a function of a lack of intelligence doesn't know anything about you. I don't make that mistake. You're a smart guy. You know he's term limited. How do you think he gets another term?
We're working on it. I think we'll have a couple of alternatives. Let's say that. We'll see. We'll see what the definition. We'll see what the definition of term limit is.
All right. Well, so you're talking about litigating this issue, because I don't want people to listen to our interview and say Bannon's cooking up an insurrection. Bannon is cooking up. You know what I mean? I want people to get a straight take on where your head is. What are you suggesting?
Chris, as you know, I've had greater long shots than this. When we supported President Trump after the election, I realize you don't believe the election in 2020 was stolen. We do. We fervently believe that.
Okay, so there you go. It seems like the rhetoric is amplifying and becoming more and more incendiary and exaggerated. Let me know in the comments and chat whether you see this as hollow words and verbiage or the potential for a civil war. Let's even consider this. Would America be better off in a state of secession? Should you allow the red states and blue states to separate and have their own governance and governors? Do you think it's possible to achieve reconciliation with all of this media seemingly benefiting from the language of conflagration? Let me know if you think that Bannon's just mucking about. Let me know if you think those people at the AOC and Bernie rally would be capable of carrying out a political murder. I wonder if they're capable of even keeping their bedrooms tidy. I mean, look at some of those outfits. I wouldn't worry about them. In fact, I've had death threats before, and if I got a death threat from them, I'd be like, oh, thank God, it's them. Brilliant. A death threat that I can handle personally. I won't be reaching for 911 for that one. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments and chat. Wherever you're watching us, X, YouTube, we want you to make your way to Rumble. And if Rumble Premium is within your means, acquire it. You can participate in Rumble's new lineup. Me, Crowder, Paul, but people like Kim Iverson as well and Rubin. All of Rumble's great free speakers accumulated together to participate in conversation with you. In a minute, we're going to be talking about the appointment of Jay Bhattacharya and Martin McCurry. What a shift up. What a switcheroo. What a difference 5 years makes. We're also going to be talking about my country, the UK's nuclear threat to Russia. Should we be taking it serious? We're going to be looking at J.D. Vance's speech on globalization. And we're also going to be covering Hillary Clinton, advocating for yet more censorship in that home of free speech. Deutschland, speak freely. But first, a quick message from one of our sponsors. Chuck Norris, the legend, octogenarian. But you wouldn't think it to see him or his wife. Chuck Norris. He's doing better than ever. We've invited him on our show and on Dave's show, Shoot Me Straight. If you ever wondered what happened to him, he must be pretty old now. Must have known that was ages ago with them filmed. Well, check it out. He's in his 80s and he's still kicking butt and he's very, very active. Frankly, he looks gorgeous, and I was willing to ignore my marriage vows for a moment when I saw his vascular arms. A bit wrinkly, but so's a ball bag. What's even more shocking is he's stronger, can work out longer, and he's got plenty of energy left over for his grandkids. He did this by making just one change. He still says he feels like he's in his 50s. His wife even started doing this one thing too, and she's never felt better. She says she feels 10 years younger. I bet she's at least 10 years younger than Chuck Norris, isn't it? Like, Chuck Norris ain't going to marry an 80-year-old, is he? Going to get himself a nice young woman. They've tried to tiptoe around that. She feels 10 years young. If she keeps feeling too much younger, Chuck Norris is going to end up in jail. Chuck made a special video that explains everything. Make sure you watch it by going to chuckdefense.com/brand and tell Chuck we want him on, and then Dave can have him and we're fulfilling Dave's wish. Show how young you feel, Chuck, by coming here. Go to chuckdefense.com/brand. chuckdefense.com/brand. It's going to change the way you think about your health. Just a reminder, the legendary Chuck Norris is now a whopping 84 years old and yet has more energy than me. No way, he doesn't. I'll fight him. I'll fight Chuck Norris. I'll fight you, Chuck. I'll follow your health protocols. I'll take a Viagra and then I'll fight you naked. And the one of us that can maintain an erection and win the fight is declared the victor. He discovered he could create more dramatic changes to his health by simply focusing on 3 things that sabotage our body as we age. Watch this method by clicking the link in the box below, chuckdefense.com/brand. That's an offer, Chuck! YouTube, we're out of there, baby. That was an ad, wasn't it? That's the way to advertise a product. Chuck Norris, I mean no disrespect, I was mucking about. YouTube, we're leaving you mad globalists. We know how you were formed. We know how Serge Brin and Larry Page got access to Google Earth content by doing back channel deals with the CIA because Mike Pence told us so. X will carry on there for a few more minutes. We're going to be with you for another half hour on Rumble and then another half hour after that on Rumble Premium. That's why you got to click the link in the description subscription. Join us over on Rumble, home of free speech, to see us talking about COVID origins, Hillary Clinton, Thomas Beard in the local